Hello student, today I am taking class 8 Social Science Geography chapter 5 Industries. My dear students, here we are going to study about what are the different type of industries and what are the benefits we are given by these industries, how these help in our economic activities, and what are the different methods and factors by which we can see how the factories are located and what are the different things. See, we will study here. So, in this topic we will see first that industries. What is an industry? I already explained you that it refers to the economic activity. Do you know that is concerned with production? Means industries, what they are doing? They are producing goods, they are extracting some minerals in the production of services. Do you know, like we can see the iron and steel industries, cement industries and so on. So, you see the iron and steel industries, what they do? They help in the production of goods. We can see the example of coal mining industries. What they are doing? They are doing extraction of the coals. And the tourism industries, they provide services. So, we have seen these industries, they help in different gaining some economic activities, helping in this. Now, what is called the manufacturing? As you know, there are three steps: primary, secondary and tertiary. So, we can see the secondary activities, it comes under manufacturing. So, even we secondary activity, we call it manufacturing also. You see how it means what we are doing? We are changing the raw material into usable form, by which it will become more valuable to the people. So, it is a secondary activity. So, the manufacturing process of raw material, where it will be done. So, this manufacturing process of raw material change into finished products only in the industries. Now, for example, wood pulp, it is changed into the paper, and this paper into notebooks. So, you know there are two stages of manufacturing process. So, where this process will be go on? It will be do in the industries. The paper made from the pulp and the cloths which are made from the cottons, they have value added when it will be go into one step to another, each stage of the manufacturing process. So, you know, in this way you have seen the finished product, when it will be final, then it have more value because now it is used, and value and utility than the raw material that is made from. So, what is the process of this manufacturing industries? Means whatever the raw materials and the primary products that will become, so it will be processing and change into valuable products, then it is an importance and it comes under manufacturing. Now, you see the next one. Now, there are so many types of industries are there. So, how we classify these industries? So, do you know industries are classified on the basis of raw material, size and ownership. So, how we will study how the industry is classified on the basis of raw material. See, raw material industries, mostly they are agro-based industries, mineral based industries, marine based industries and forest based industries. They all depend on the different type of raw material they use. So, first one is agro based industry, means agriculture material. So, do you know it use which type of raw material they use? It use plants and animal based product as the raw material. By that they are preparing the new things. So, you see the food processing like vegetable oil, cotton textile, dairy products, all these are example of agro based industries. Now, see, mineral based industries means these are the primary industries that use mineral ores. Minerals they are using as a form of raw material, and the product of these industries feed other industries because they have to supply so many materials. Like how the iron, how they are made? They are made from iron ore, and it is the product of mineral based industries. Next, this is used as a raw material for manufacturing of number of products. Which type of products we are producing? Such as heavy machineries, building materials and railway coaches. Next one is marine based industries. Do you know marine based? It uses the products which we get from the sea and ocean as a raw material. Do you know industry processing seafood? So mostly they are processing the seafoods, they are using manufacturing the fish oil, and are some examples of these these marine based industries. Now next one is forest based industries. We are getting so many raw materials from the forest that they are using. See, we are utilizing so many forest products as a raw material, so the industries which associated with forests are mostly pulp and paper, pharmaceuticals, furniture and buildings, etc. all will become. So you have seen how we classified the industries in different form. Now next we will do how the size of the industries may be seen. There are two types of industries according to the size. It refers the amount of, it depend upon amount of capital invested on it. Capital means how much money we invested on it. So the number of people, second one how much capital we invested, second how much number of people are employed, and what are the volume of the production. According to this, based on the size, it is classified into two types: small scale industries and large scale industries. Small scale industries, do you know these industries consist of very less amount of capital, means they are using less money and technology. Mostly which type of industries comes under small scale? They are cottage and household industries are the small scale industries, where the products are made by hands. Mostly they are making by the hands, or it is prepared by some artisans, and they use very less amount of capital and technology. We can see some examples which comes under these small scale industries are: first, basket weaving, silk weaving, food processing industries, potteries and other handicrafts materials, all will becomes under small scale industries. Next one is the large scale industries, means these industries, they invest large amount of capital investment, huge amount of raw materials they are using, and they are using superior technology, and they produce a volume of products, large amount of products they are preparing. So they comes under large industries. For example, we can see iron and steel industries, heavy electricals production, heavy electricals goods, production of automobiles, heavy machines, all will be under large scale industry. Now next is ownership. Can industries will be also comes under this? Yes, ownership means industries can be classified according to the ownership. So we can classify it again on the basis of this: private sector, private started, own or public sector, whether it comes in the private sector or it is public sector, it is joint sector or cooperative sectors. So see, first one we see according to the ownership, first one is the private sector. Do you know? Private means these are owned and operated by individual or some groups of individuals. Now, for example, Tata Iron and Steel Industries, Jamshedpur, they comes under private sectors. Next is the public sector. The public sector industries, these are owned and operated by the government. So we will put them in public sector. Example, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and Steel Authority of India Limited, they comes under public sector. Next one is joint sector. Joint sector means these are owned and operated by state or individual or group of individuals, they are doing this. So this comes under joint sector. Example, Maruti Udyog Limited, it is a joint sector. Next, cooperative sector means these industries, it is owned and operated by producers or some suppliers of the raw materials, workers or both, they will join together and do the work. For example, Anand Milk Union Limited and Sudha Dairy, these are the success stories of cooperative sectors. Now, questions comes, we have studied how these are divided, private, cooperative sectors and all. Question comes, what are the factors which affecting the location of industries? So see this, what are the factors? Suppose we are having industries, what things we need? First, we need the land, we need power, we need raw material, we need labor, we need capital, we need market and we need transport. When all these factors are available, then it will be run properly. So see the factors, it also affecting that location of industries. First, where we locate the industries, that is the first. Then can the raw material is available easily. Where we establish this, can we are having land, we are having water, we are having labor, who can work, skilled labor, who can work this, how the power will be supplied, how much money we are having in a hand, how we can do the transport system and where we will get the market. All these factors are very important. So see, industries mostly, where we can see the industries, so industries are situated in those places where mostly all these factors are easy available. If suppose these factors are not available, we will not establish the industries there. Now sometimes what happen, government provides some incentives. Which type of incentives? Like subsidies, power, lower transport costs and other infrastructure, so that the industries may be located in backward area. Industrialization often leads to the development and growth of towns and cities. How? Because see, suppose we had any industries, they got the land where the raw material are easy available, so they establish one industries. So what happens, so many peoples will become do the job. So what happen, definitely there will be new towns and cities will be created in that area. Industrial system. Now do you know how the industrial system will be? So an industrial system consists of inputs, process and outputs. What is called input? Input means they consist some raw material. Raw material, for example, cotton, human labor, cost of land, factory, transport including the cost, how much money it will be spent, power and other infrastructures. So all this will becomes input. Second one is processing. Processes means it consists of wide range of activities like change of raw material, the raw material that we have to be finished in the final products. For example, ginning for the cotton. First we will do the ginning, second one we will do the spinning, third there will be weaving and fourth there will be dyeing and in the last it will be do the printing. So that it will becomes under the processing. Next is the output, the result. See, output is the finished product and it will be sent into the market and they will get the income from it. So in this way, in industrial system, three are very important, which are input, processing and the outputs. Now next one is industrial region. What are the different industrial regions? Industrial regions. Do you know industrial regions emerge when a number of, mostly the number of industries which are located close to each other and share. Why? Because they share the benefits of their closeness. So you can see major industrial region of the world are, mostly you can see where it is located, Eastern North America, Western and Central Europe, Eastern Europe and Eastern Asia. And you know, major industrial region tend to be located mostly in temperate areas, near seaports and especially near coastal area. So we can see India has several industrial regions, mostly Mumbai Pune cluster, second one is Bangalore Tamil Nadu cluster, third is Hooghly region, fourth is Ahmedabad Baroda region, Chota Nagpur industrial belt, Visakhapatnam Guntur belt, Gurgaon Delhi Meerut region, the Kollam Trivandrum industrial sector. Now you have seen there are so many industries are there, still there are sometimes some industries cause some severe accident that we call industrial disaster. See one example here. See, in industry sometimes some accidents or disasters mainly occur due to some reason is that some technical failure or some irresponsible handling of hazardous materials. So we can see one example, that is one of the worst industrial disaster of all time occurred in Bhopal in 3rd December 1984 around 12:30 am. Do you know, it was a technological accident in which highly poisonous gas, its name is methyl isocyanide, MIC gas, along with one another gas, its name is hydrogen cyanide, and other reaction products that leaked out from the pesticides factory. The factory's name is Union Carbide. Do you know, official death, it was written near about 3,598 in 1989. But do you know, so many lakhs of the people died due to this. Do you know, thousands who survived from this, still they suffer from many types of ailments like blindness, impaired immune system, gastrointestinal disorder, etc. by these industrial disaster. Another industrial disaster happened in 23rd December 2005 due to gas well blowout in Gao called Chongqing in China. Do you know, 243 people died, 9,000 were injured, and 64,000 were evacuated. Do you know, many people died because they were unable to suffer burns of their eyes, skins and lungs of the gas. So we have to be very careful, and we have to adopt some measures that this type of accident will be not appear in the future. What are the risk reduction measures will be done? See, first, densely populated residential area should be separated away from the industrial area. So mostly we can locate the industrial area which is not near the densely populated area. Second one, people staying in the vicinity of industry should be, they will aware of the storage of toxin or hazardous substance and their possible effects they can cause accident. So they should be very careful. Third, fire warning and fighting system should be improved properly, and storage capacity, like what type of toxic substance are should be limited, and pollution dispersal qualities in the industries should be improved. So if all industries will follow all these rules and regulations, so definitely we can save our peoples from these industrial disasters, and even we can save our environment. So now, my dear student, in next class I will explain you what are the different major industries, how it will be distributed. Thank you.